All right, everybody. Happy Monday. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Congrats to all my friends in Philadelphia on the big Super Bowl win for the Philadelphia Eagles, EAGLES Eagles. And, I give Philadelphia fans a hard time because they deserve it. But congratulations, all my friends in Philadelphia. This is the Option Pit Ticker Highlight Show every Monday at 9:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Central. We get together and we discuss one ticker and how we want to play it every day, every Monday, except this Monday, where I'm going to be judge, jury, and executioner. And Andrew, Leisha, and Hans are going to pitch me their ideas out of the grade 8/mag 7 stocks. And then I'm going to come up with a trade idea out of them. So joining me are Leisha J. Leslie. You may call her Queen of the Candlesticks. I just call her Queen. She is Leisha. Welcome, Leisha. Then we're joined by Hans J. Albrecht, who is the imperial overlord of income. He is the future governor of our 51st state. He is Hans Albrecht. He is Hans J. Albrecht.
I love it. Don't even have to move.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll just call you governor.
Right?
The governor. Governor Hans. That might stick as Governor Hans. And of course, our Viking of volatility, the OG of ATGs. He is Andrew T. Giovinazzi, the Viking of volatility, the vicar of the VIX. Andrew, welcome.
It's good to be here.
All right. Well, let's start with obviously the most royal of our group. She is the queen. And she is Leisha J. Leslie, and she's going to talk to us about her stock pick and what she thinks it's going to do.
I chose Apple, and I know I'm going against everything I've seen you put out, Mark.
I know.
Mark's bearish Apple, and I didn't realize because I chose it last week before I saw your things, and I'm challenging you.
This is why there's a market,
That's
right?
correct. That is correct. That's why there's a two-sided market.
And if I'm smart, I'm going to jump on your trade.
Now, I have Apple up against resistance here. And before that, it was flagging here, gearing up to trade up over that resistance. It closed the gap. Friday, not so pretty in Apple. But look what we have today. We have a Harami cross. Now, Harami is an inside day on a very big bullish or bearish previous day candle. Harami is an inside day. That means pregnant in Japanese. It negates the movement of the previous candle. In this case, the downward bearishness of Friday's candle. Harami crosses its doji in that inside day. And that means that it could rally from here. Now, I would wait until we clear these highs. As always, with the candles, you want to have confirmation the next day, which would be Apple trading higher. But above 232, 233, I like Apple to come back to my median line up here, 242. That's and I like the supports down here at 227.30. But yes, I believe Apple's going to trade to the other end of the pitchfork eventually. But for now, I'm going to take it to the median line.
All right. There is Apple. Next up is the governor. He is Hans J. Albrecht. What do you got for us?
Well, guys, I mean, it's tough to bet against MAG, but I'll throw a couple under the bus here. So Apple, all due respect to the queen, not a big innovator. I'm just looking for a little more pizzazz. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a big bank vault of cash. They got a great service business. They're not doing bad at all. And Microsoft, I kind of don't mind longer term, but with NVIDIA, it's kind of those two generals that have maybe just kind of softened a little bit lately, although you just had a great trade on NVIDIA, Mark. Congratulations on that. But I think that cools off just a little bit in light of DeepSeek. Azure was kind of in this big cloud fight that everybody's in, and a little bit of slowing revenue there. NVIDIA, maybe we start to see a little bit of margin pressure over time if people kind of have alternatives or start to think of the space differently, right? The conversation has changed a little bit, and so maybe that has an effect. Google is just, it's cheap, but it's just, got all those issues, right? It's got those regulatory issues, the Chat GPT search threat. I don't know. Is that a real thing? It might be, right? But the problem
think
is,
it
the more you
is.
bring up these things. What's that, Mark?
I said I think it is. I think you're right. It is.
It could be, right? I mean, this is there's a lot of disruption going on in the disruptors, and so the problem is it's just a few too many cockroaches. And when we have more, when there are these issues you talk about, I just like strong, clear stories over cheap, so-called cheap stocks that have some overhang issues, right? So I'd prefer to go with some momentum. Amazon, really close. I almost picked Amazon. It's just amazing. But again, it's in that cloud. It does have that cloud element, which is pretty cutthroat. They're getting good at that. They're getting better at being third place in advertising. So really close. I love that company. Tesla, I can't even include. It's just sort of this moonshot mess. I have no clue where it's going. It's just not a stable stock. Meta, of course, so is my pick. It just doesn't have the cockroaches. It's got the momentum. And even in light of DeepSeek, it's kind of, I think, the sort of value, we move up the value chain in that kind of value stack in the AI space. So kind of software companies, people who really make use of AI and monetize right away. And that's Meta, right? It's Amazon too, but it's that ability to turn AI into money right away. They're doing it, and that's my pick.
I like Meta a lot. My only issue with Meta is that it's been such a moonshot of late. I worry that, that there's, you want to wait a little bit before getting in, but you're right. I mean, I think you buy Meta and you close your eyes for 5 years, you're going to have a lot more money. I don't think you're wrong there, Hans.
In terms of a trade, though, I think you're right, Mark. It has had a really good run. Last time we talked about it about a month ago or about maybe 6 weeks ago, and it was down in the 600s, low 600s. So it's had a great run. Yeah.
So today is February 10th. All right. And it is $714. On January 10th, its low was $597. It's up $117. In fact, its low was January 14th, and it closed $594. So this thing has really moved. Speaking of really moving, the man that can craft his own paddleboard, he can repair your canoe if necessary. He is our vicar of the Vix. He is our Viking of volatility. He is the OG of ATGs, Andrew T. Giovinazzi. What do you got for us, Andrew?
Well, I have to say, this whole NVIDIA big CapEx spend thing, I think that is, I think overall that was pretty good news. Like people want to spend money, or the big tech wants to spend a lot of money. It didn't go down basically. Like I think they looked at the Chat GP or whatever, the DeepSeek stuff, and they're like, we're still going to spend a ton of money anyway. That surprised me. I have to be honest. It did surprise me a little bit. So I'm going to go, I have to say I got to go with stocks where the volatilities are so darn low, it freaks me out. So Microsoft volatility in the 19 handle. I'm going Microsoft or Google. Google volatility is about as low as it's been.
Do you want to share your screen and show people this, or do you just want to talk through it?
I can show people if they want.
Well, here, I'll do it. I can do it.
Hold on. Let me shoot my screen.
I got it, Andrew.
Oh, you got it? Yeah. Okay. Toss it there. So just take a look at these. Just take a look at those volatilities. Look at which one you got up there first.
I got Microsoft.
Okay. Take a look at, so Microsoft at a 19 vol. pretty darn low. And actually, Microsoft is, so all you need is Microsoft to move $2 or $3 and you have a win. Not very much. Take a look at Google. Again, Google Vol. So considering like where the stocks were, the spend, we got NVIDIA coming out. I'm just saying that you got very low option prices coming into the NVIDIA earnings. And I think that will draw some buyers in. So
Well, and you look at the stocks you're talking about, Google, average true range. So that's how much it's moving up and down every day over the last 10 days, almost $5.
Yeah. So so basically the idea is the options are so cheap, all you need is a swing up. You know, you keep a reasonable stop, but
Microsoft's average true range is about over $7, almost $7.50 a day.
So
you can make money owning these options, folks.
That was the idea I had. I thought it was pretty well priced. So, and another thing too is, you know, Trump has been doing the tariff thing and the Trump dance and this thing, and we don't really sell off. I mean, we sell off from the peak, but it's not like we're down 3 or 4% and VIX is 21, 22 again. So
I would imagine that we're going to start to
deal.
become numb to a lot of these threats.
Right. Yeah. Well, and they're also, the numbers are not big. You know, they're not.
All right.
They're not.
So here's a couple of things I know. One, you can kind of fade every Trump move. Two, Canada is not going to become our 51st state.
I want to know, do we merge the Canadian Football League with the NFL? Does that happen? If
you know, I don't know how that would work. The Argonauts,
we've got like different downs, like whose rules do we pick? Yours or ours? I don't know.
I mean,
I have to be honest. I've never seen a Canadian football game.
Oh, it is wild. It is wild. It's not as fast. It's not as aggressive as Arena League, but it is way more aggressive than NFL. It is way more. It's way more offense forward. I think the average number of points scored is like 20, 25 more points than an NFL game.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
And I have to be honest, I didn't watch the Super Bowl either.
Womp womp.
I would have liked to maybe, but
what were you doing instead?
Chopping wood, probably.
No, I was asleep. I was probably asleep by 8:15. I had to move a lot of snow yesterday.
The Super Bowl starts at 6.
Huh?
It starts at 6.
Yeah, but I sleep through it anyway, pretty much.
Do you at least catch the beginning?
No.
I will say the halftime show was meh.
Oh,
it wasn't up with people bad, but it was bad.
Oh, well, it's just you know what? I spent all day outside, like moving snow, cross country, all that kind of stuff.
And
by 6 o'clock, I was like totally wiped out.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Plus, I'm old. I'm not getting any younger.
I get it.
Big 60's coming. What am I?
I went to a Super Bowl party where you're supposed to bring your own soup.
Soup.
Speaking of old,
soup.
So everybody made their own unique soup. So I made Italian wedding, and
yours is probably the only good one.
No, there were a bunch of good ones actually. Somebody made like a chicken enchilada soup that was delicious.
Okay, all right.
There was a chili, a pastori that was awesome. Some weird Korean or Thai noodle soup thing that was good. Let's see, what else was there? I think there was one more. What am I forgetting?
Well, if anybody went to a Super Bowl party, put it in the chat. Say like, I went to a Super Bowl party. Did you go into anything weirder than a soup party? Hey, it's Super Bowl. I'm soup.
Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl party, SOUP. It makes sense, right?
Like my wife used to make me barf.
It is the oldest thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh, really? That's pretty funny. My wife used to make me twice baked potatoes, chicken wings, and chili cheese dogs for Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. Chili cheese dogs. That's a win. All right. Speaking of wins, it's time for me to pick a winner.
Okay.
And you know, I got to tell you, I think Leisha is probably right. Apple's going to go up. I think Hans is long term 100% right. Leisha, I don't know. Have you looked at the candles on Meta? I'm a little nervous about how stretched it is. You're muted. You're muted, Leisha.
I agree. I think I would wait for a little pullback on Meta. Here, I'll show you. I mean, it doesn't mean it isn't going higher, but it's gone pretty far. There you go. It's marching higher though. The top of the pitchfork's up way up here at 762.
760.
Well, nobody wanted it at $90 and everybody wants it at 700.
Yeah.
That's always the way it is.
The year of efficiency.
I have to say the most bullish chart at the moment is NVIDIA.
NVIDIA, we have NVIDIA on in Trade Zone, so I'm going to skip that one. But I got to tell you, I think I like Andrew's Microsoft idea. What do you think of the chart on Microsoft? It's been so beaten.
Yeah. It's at the bottom of its range. Look at how it just bounces back and forth.
Yeah.
It's definitely at the bottom of its range. Again, Harami candle. And a rally would take it back to 441.
And the options are really inexpensive. And I know it's a $415 stock. This is one of those times where I wish they still had the mini options. But you know, it's trading $414, and the 415 call is only $7. And I know you're saying $7, that's $700. This is the February 28th, so it has 18 days, and it is less than, it is a 1.5% of the value of the whole stock. That is inexpensive, folks. So my trade, looking for a bounce here, because Microsoft really has not rallied with the rest of the market, is to buy the Microsoft February 28th $415 call, and I want to pay $7. Now, Microsoft is going to bounce like this. Right now, currently, it's about $7.20. 20 cents, that's going to be about, you know, your Microsoft can move 50 cents in about, 2 minutes. So this is one of those where I'm just patient. So I want to buy the Microsoft February 28th, 2025, $415 call.
Write it up so people can see it, Mark.
And I'm going to pay $7.
Are you writing it up?
I'm going to put it in the one of the things that we have started to do is we now have a we're going to be keeping a track record here. Our first trade that we're tracking was the NVIDIA trade from last week. That was an absolute home run. I will publicly give you the entrance, but you will not receive exits. You'll have to just monitor my portfolio to see when I exit. But that is kind of the cool thing we're doing. So, once again, it is the February 28th, 2025, 415 call, and I want to pay $7. We'll be adding the Ticker Highlight Show portfolio under the Option Pit Live portfolio here within the next 24 hours. You should be able to find it quickly. So with that in mind, I hope everybody has a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I am Mark Sebastian. And so for Alicia J. Leslie, Queen of the Candles, Hans J. Albrecht, the governor of our 51st state, and of course, Andrew T. Giovinazzi, the vicar of the Vics. I am Mark Sebastian, your only option. Have a good one.